Hi everybody, it's Kelly here at Don't Run with Scissors. Um, my little, I think it's episode 5, it may be 6. The bad part is I just went and looked to make sure I could tell you guys. And yeah. So it's been an interesting week. I ended up going and seeing my neurosurgeon. The shunt, as I've told you guys, my shunt is working. It didn't reset itself, even though I thought it pretty much had thought it was. So now the theory is that potentially I'm overdraining a little bit, which is causing headaches. So every once in a while I lay down, let the fluid build back up in my head so I can sit back up. I go back to my neurosurgeon tomorrow to kind of discuss that. I had ended up in the ER Thursday night. Well, Thursday afternoon I went in and had several tests run. So we know everything's connected right and that the setting is still at a 1. There's no kinks in the line that's like runs from the back of my head down into my stomach. Interestingly enough, I was in the ER, and those of us with medical anomalies, is that the right word that I'm at? Medical situations that aren't run of the mill. It's always interesting when you're dealing with new doctors. And the doctor in the ER, so I told the nurse why I was there. He was very nice and everything. And he went to relay information to the doctor. And you can hear the doctor because they're right outside the room. And he goes, shunts aren't programmable. And I had to bite my tongue from yelling, yes, they are. Um, because mine is programmable. And a lot of shunts are programmable. They don't generally change the settings in the ER though. But the fact that he was so adamant that they weren't adjustable, so he didn't understand why there was a problem. Um, like, it was just mind boggling to me. So I bit my tongue and I ended up getting really good care. And I have to admit, I'm a little spoiled by the care that I get from my neurosurgeon and his crew. I've been with them for several years now. And my neurosurgeon's bedside manner is just amazing. He is a fellow runner. He's run Boston, which is just mind boggling to me. Like I said before, I think I'll probably be 87 before I could qualify, if I can keep running at the same pace I do now, before I could qualify to run Boston. Boyd has run Boston, and he runs marathons and stuff. And I think so that he understands better when I'm frustrated that I can't do what I love to do, or needing to find new ways to be able to do that. He's the one who kind of helped me navigate becoming a para triathlete. So I have a lot of admiration for him and for the team. And he's very respectful of making sure that I have the quality of life that I want to have. That is his first goal. So I'm a little bit spoiled by him, and I appreciate that I am. So it's always kind of interesting working with new doctors. So that was kind of, yeah. But again, I ended up having great care at the hospital in the ER and by the entire staff, and um, feeling pretty good. So I am just kind of taking the last couple of days. I did do some work for my office and clients yesterday. I'll be in to my office Monday morning. I have an appointment to see Boyd in the afternoon to see if we're going to adjust the shunt so that if I am overdraining, and seeing how that goes. So yeah, the plus side is because I'm kind of laying down, I've gotten a lot of stitching time, and been able to catch up a couple of things to where I wanted them. The other day I actually sat at my sewing machine and did some work. But before I get into that, I do want to share my new best thing. I think one of the other things I've shared with you is I've been having some GI issues. I have gastroparesis as well from all of the brain surgeries, and affecting my vagus nerve. So I'm working very closely with my friend who's a nutritionist, um, and she specializes in working with athletes and complex decisions. And so we have decided, we figured it out that I have a gluten intolerance. I don't have celiacs. I have a gluten intolerance. So we've eliminated a gluten, and gluten is in so much. It's insane. What's in it? What is what has it in it? Um, and so many gluten-free things like bread. I love bread. Like, to me, the best part of fall is like fresh baked oven from the fresh baked oven, fresh baked bread out of the oven, and you put the butter's all melty, and you eat it. Like, seriously, that to me is heaven. So that's been very hard because gluten-free bread, so far I have not found that wonderfulness. So I'm searching. I'm searching. So if you guys know of any, let me know, and I'm willing to try it. But what I did try was the Krusty's brand gluten-free buttermilk pancake mix this morning. I made it. I added blueberries into my batter. They were actually really, really good. And I fed them to a friend of mine, and he couldn't tell the difference. Had I not told him, he wouldn't have realized it. The only thing that I will say, and I do this even like before with the regular Krusty's brand, I always add actual vanilla to them. It's just one of those things. I love the taste of vanilla. Um, so I would have added that. I didn't have any on hand this morning. So when I make them the next time, and you literally make them the same way you do the regular ones, I will in fact add some vanilla. But they were really good. So if you have to do gluten-free, check it out. Tomorrow I am making, they had a mix for a cinnamon coffee cake, or you can make them into like cinnamon swirl muffins. So I'm going to make that tomorrow for to get to try with brunch when I'm on the brunch for Stitch Life magazine. Dana there is doing fantastic things. If you have not checked it out, it's on Patreon. So it's an online magazine. It's like $8 a month right now until October 1st when prices are going up. So really and truly, you need to get on board. There are all sorts of free patterns and little charts. She does a free Friday fabric giveaway, I think, on the first Friday of the month. But just a great bunch of things. Like, it's just getting started and rolling. I don't even know that she's a year old yet with it. But totally worth it. Totally worth it. The first month for signing up, I got, I didn't grab it. And I do apologize. I got this really nice canvas bag with a zipper that I actually have carried to my office a couple times now. And it says Stitch Life on it. And then I got a little project bag. This one, it's actually a really nice little project bag. And inside it was a little tin, and it had a pair of scissors, like the fold-up scissors, which I think my kid has confiscated already. And there was something else in there, like a little trinket. It was super cute, totally unexpected, especially seriously for $8. I won't. So I'm loving it, and I'll try to remember to stick that in the box down below when I fill out all the information. I'm trying to get much better about that. I do have some FFOs. I have lots of whips, of course. Um, and I think I do have a haul. I do. It came in the mail finally. So, FFOs. I pulled out the sewing machine the other day. I set it back up, and I managed to turn the Cliffs of Moher into just a little pillow, sewed it shut. Totally cute. And then the Celtic Cross is also a pillow. And it's just backed in like that green cotton fabric that I showed you. But they look super cute in the corner of the couch. and they kind of stack like that. I want to try and find another pattern that's about this size, but like this orientation to go so that it's the 3 pillows in the corner of the couch. Um, and then I finished the boy child's off into just a little cute pillow. It's so cute. Like he likes it because it's just one of those that'll lay your head. Um, but that was such a fun stitch. I may have to stitch this again, to be honest with you. And maybe I'll frame it for him. I don't know. I don't know. It was just a happy stitch, honestly. It was a pattern off of Etsy for a couple bucks, and it's just, yeah, it's a great stitch. It's a happy stitch. And then I had 4 zippers, so I did make my little project bags. So I have the coffee that I'll end up putting the coffee sampler in. I have my wiener dog. I'm not sure what's gonna go in the wiener dog one yet. I have the wiener Halloweeny pattern and Wienerland pattern on order, so I should be getting that any day. So maybe I'll stick those in there. And then we have candy and we have donuts. And I actually did the pretty French. I did French seams in there, so they're all like buried. So I have four of those project bags plus the one I got from Dana with Stitchlight. So that went really cool. And while I'm talking about and so this is the other pattern that I got in the mail. It's the Lizzie Kate Spring String. And again, I want to do those so that they're all in the same frame, and I'm just going to magnet them in like I've seen so many do. Because I thought that was really cute. They're so cute. And it'll be a fun little, just cute stitch. I mean, dare I say, I don't think it will take long to stitch. But every time I say stuff like that, it takes me 3 times longer than what I anticipated. So I'm not going to say that. It will take however long it takes. Okay. So then I have been trying to, I really want to keep up to date on the stitch-alongs that I've signed up for. And I'm looking for a way to, how do you guys organize, like when you sign up for a stitch-along, that you have to go back to their website to download the next pattern? That's what I'm struggling. Like, it's one thing if it comes to me in the email, and I remember because then it's in your email and you see it and it's okay, like that makes sense to me. Like I can keep track of those. But I have 2 now that I have to remember to go to their website and download it each month. And you'd think I would remember it. Yeah. So that said, I am looking for something to help organize that and that. So as far as stitch-alongs, I have joined several, but the one that this one I'm current on. I did get current on it, I think yesterday. Snarky and Modern Cross Stitchers on Facebook is doing a Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's a 3-part stitch-along. So I did this is the first week's pattern, or the first of the 3. So, I got all of that done yesterday. I elected to do it in purple, and the pattern is actually drafted to do it all in 310. I did it on 14 count white Ada because that's what I had on hand. But I picked purple because purple is, when I graduated from law school, purple represents law. That's the color that we wear on our robes and our caps and gowns. I don't know what the hell it's called. I have mine still. I have my cap. I did give away my gown because when do you ever wear a graduation gown? Normally. But is it a stole? When you graduate law school, they put and it has your law school colors, which Mine are orange and black. And then because Law is represented by purple, mine is orange, black, and purple. It's great for Halloween. Go polar bears. So I elected to do Ruth in purple. So that's why mine's purple. So I'm excited to see what the next parts, the other two parts are going to be, because I have no idea. But I carry Ruth in my Stitch Life little project bag, and she stays with me. Well, and I think I dropped the floss. Oh well. So then I also am doing the Lakeside Needle Craft Matrushka doll sale. The next part, I still have a week to get her done. I'm not going to worry about the back stitching. I have to finish her little, her belly, her bottom part. But she's so cute. Is she not adorable? So my goal is, I have dinner already in the crock pot. I love the fall for the crock pot. Oh my gosh. I'm making salsa chicken. How stupidly simple is it? You throw a couple chicken breasts in your crock pot with a jar of salsa. Now remember that as it simmers all day, it's going to get more intense. So I usually put mild salsa in mine. And then when it's all cooked, I shred up the chicken and I will either put it on some rice with some cheese and sour cream on top. I actually like mine with a little guacamole. Most people in the house don't like guacamole, so that's fine. They can put whatever they want on theirs. Or else you can shred it and put it in burrito shell, like in a tortilla shell. Super stupid easy. But it tastes yummy. It's really yummy. So since I have dinner already cooking, I'm hoping maybe I can get her bottom part done today. That's kind of my goal. I want to be ready to do the next one when it comes out. I want to say October 3rd ish. So I have like the next couple days to get caught up on that. So then the other stitch along that comes to me, and they've downloaded the frame, so you can get the frame on Stitchology for their Halloween sale. So I had dyed this 8 o'clock. It was white. I put some green dye and just kind of merged it, and then I threw it in some hot tea, and then I threw it in the oven and I baked. I like scrunched it up and I baked it. So it looks sort of like what I'm hoping it looks like is sort of like witch's skin sort of thing, like the Wicked Witch. So I want to, on October 1st, so I have 5 days. I have a couple days. They'll start releasing the little emblems that you'll put in your squares. So I want to have the frame ready to go. I pulled it out last night, the fabric out last night, and started doing the black frame. So that's the other one that I really want to have ready to go when the little emblems start coming out and being available. So that's my goal. That's the weekend goal. Tomorrow morning we do the virtual stitch along with Long Dog Sampler, that group, and that's when I work on my Long Dog Sampler for Pandemic. And that's how much I got done last week. Look at that. Every time I look at this, I'm super impressed with the fact that I've done that, because the chart was, up until till taking on a couple of these recent projects, I had done little teeny charts. Like I did the precious moments. I've done the cherished teddies. I've done like smaller things. This is huge, and it's intricate. And then of course me and my goofiness decided to make it a full coverage because I couldn't figure out. I knew those were the two colors I wanted. I wanted it to be very beachy vibed. Because that's just my favorite colors and my favorite color scheme. But I couldn't figure out in my brain how to switch and make some of them blue and some of them the tan and all of that. And this just seemed to be the, what I wanted was like the blue coming up from one way. So it looked like the waves rolling onto the beach. That was my envision in my brain. But I couldn't figure out how to do that in my brain. So this was my solution. So this is what I stitched last week. We usually meet online for about 2 hours. And so I got that done. So I'd like to, tomorrow morning, there's another one of these here and then here. So I'd like to kind of maybe, I'm just going to continue on with those. When I'm tired and I want to stitch, but don't want to count and worry about that, that's when I go in and I fill in the blues and things. And that's when, after the blue is in, that's when I'll do like the little back stitching for his feathers and the little butterfly that's here. So it's coming along. That's almost page 1. I'm kind of impressed with myself. I haven't thrown it across the room or anything out of frustration. Which, let's see. Yeah, I don't want to, because I mean, yeah, if I do the little motif down and then there's another bird, let me see. This is the pattern. So I'm up in here and this is what I've got. So my hope is that maybe tomorrow I can, if I really concentrate during those 2 hours, and then if I keep working on it during the brunch with Stitch Life, maybe I can get both, like this whole little section, this motif here done. Fingers crossed. I mean, doesn't hurt to try. But it's a gorgeous pattern, seriously. I think I already bought another long dot. Whatever. Life is short. Buy the pattern you want. Do it. Okay. So then we've been doing, apparently I forgot the picture, but it's Starry Night with a Jeep. And I have actually been working on it. I did not make, for Full Color Bridge Fanatics, for the Tour de France, I missed the yellow jersey by about 800 stitches. I was not feeling good. I didn't do it. But it's really moving. That's almost half of page 1 of the pattern. So I'm really excited. I think it's Van Gogh Starry Night. And then, so I think that's the little black and navy blue tower that you see. And then the light blue swirl is starting to come in. It's super cool. Oh, and then I got this super sweet. Remind me to tell you about this needle binder, Monopoly. Because you know what? I'm going to side it off. I'm going to stick it on my computer as my reminder because it doesn't have a needle on it right now. Yeah, we'll do that. So, let me see. What else do I have in here that I have worked? So those are the ones I've really been working on. We found an error in the pattern for the couch, and I'm really bummed because now I have to unstitch a bunch of it. And so I put this in timeout because it really pissed me off that I didn't catch it sooner, that there was a problem so that we could have headed it off. And now I have to frog a bunch of it. And it's just... So, but that's the Victorian couch. This side and this side are supposed to match. It is very clear that they don't. And then I have to look at what she designed here because seems odd to me that it's so much difference. I know there's supposed to be a difference on her design, so I'm going to look at that again and see if I messed up counting, which is possible. You know, we all make mistakes, or if it's the pattern alignment. So that's my mission over the next couple of days as well. And then I started I'm testing another pattern for somebody else. And it's the Rose Apothecary. I think she said it's from a TV show. What its TV show is, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar. But it's coming together pretty good. I'm going to frog out this window area. There's something off on the counting. And again, it could be me. But it's bothering me. So I've got to fix that. But that should be a fairly quick fix. But that's 2 evenings stitching on it. So it's going together fairly fast. It's super cute. That is, well, this is the halfway point, is this little brick here. So for tonight, like it goes up a little bit further for the roof. And then there's the down portion of the building, but that's the marquee sign. And then there's another window. So it's coming along really well, even if there is a mistake that I'm pretty sure it's my counting on that one that was off. It was a rough week. My brain is. So then on Wednesday night, Bean had music practice down at school. She's in the pep band. She's got a great scholarship for it. So I'm like, dude, if they're paying, you know, we all know college is expensive. And she's a double major at a private university. My kid who grew up, she's kind of agnostic, which is fine. She grew up, like I took her to Sunday school. She's very involved in our church. We're not like, I was raised Catholic, but I didn't raise my children Catholic. But being elected to go to Catholic school, which cracks me up. And she's actually, the nuns there are super sweet. They ride around the campus in golf carts. And she actually goes to Madonna University here in Livonia. And Madonna made the news because they lost 13 nuns this past spring to COVID. It just ravaged the mother house there with the older nuns. And there is one nun, and to be honest, I feel horrible saying this. I don't know her name. I know she told me it, but I don't remember it. She's super sweet. She would drive around campus in a golf cart, and she always checked on Bean. And she told, like, she was driving behind Bean one day, and Bean was like, oh my gosh, you know, I'll get out of your way kind of thing. And she goes, oh, I won't run you over. And she's always, every time she saw Bean on campus last year, she would check on Bean. And, you know, Bean is my first kid to go away to school, even though she would come home on weekends and stuff. And it's not like we live that far away. It's less than an hour away. But, you know, when your baby goes off to college for the first time, you worry. And just to know that, you know, somebody who didn't know my daughter before school started was looking out for her meant the world to me. And so when they released the pictures of the nuns who had passed to COVID, we are pretty sure, we called her golf cart nun because she always rode around the golf cart and stuff. We're pretty sure she passed. And so Bean's been kind of, all of her classes this semester are online. So she elected to stay home this semester and not spend the money on the dorms. So it was one of those, this was her first time back on campus since they had closed the dorms last spring. And they had band practice, and she's like, she goes, Mom, it's a different vibe right now. And she was glad she got to go to campus, and we'll be there every Wednesday for an hour and a half practice. So I asked her, I said, do you mind if I like just sit in the car and stitch, or do you want me to, like, you don't really want your mom going to your college class and watching you practice. And she goes, whatever makes you comfortable, Mom. And I said, well, for right now, I'll stay in the Jeep. The weather's still great. I love my sitting out there. And I said, is there any specific, I go, you know what, Bean, why don't you pick which project I take with me? And she's like, okay, Mom. And she, of all the ones that she grabbed, she cracks me up. You know, she's just, I love my kids. My kids are amazing. I know I sound like I'm a bragging mom, but they really do. My daughter picked the big Disney princess one, the big Disney one. She goes, Mom, you're a Disney fanatic. You need to stitch on something that makes your heart happy. So I got to stitch something that makes my heart happy because Disney and Disney movies make my heart happy. So I got the door in and I got the bottom of the castle, and that is the top center like portion. Um, and again, this is on the self-dyed fabric. But isn't it cute? Look at that. 14 count Ada. It's going to be flipping huge because not only do I have the Cloud Factory Epic Disney Princesses, I had found the stitcher from Ivory Needle on Etsy who's charting out the other movies. So it's not just the princesses. Mine will have Mickey and Minnie and Winnie the Pooh and the Black Cauldron and Sword in the Stone, and she's gonna map out Inside Out. She is doing Mary Poppins, like she's doing Peter Pan. I'm just seriously, I'm so gonna be in love. I don't know where the heck I'm going to hang this thing. It's 60 inches wide, and I left it at 2 inches or 2 inches, 60 inches wide, and I have just over 72 inches long because there's a lot of Disney movies. But so it's 3 columns wide, and I think I'm going to keep it the 3 columns wide. So we have the generic Princess Castle that Cloud Factory did. Yvette from Ivory Needle did a better replica of the specific one at Disneyland and then at Disney World. And yes, if you're not a Disney buff, you wouldn't realize that those are very different castles. So I'm going to do Disneyland on the right side, so my right, and Disney World's Princess Castle. It's Sleeping Beauty and then Cinderella's Castle over here with the year that each of the lands was founded. I am not sure if Yvette is going to chart out Disneyland, the castle from Paris, or is it Tokyo? I'm gonna mess it up. But those, if she does, I will probably pick up those patterns as well, and they'll be the bottom of each of those, of at least 2 of those columns. So yeah, so I'm hoping this week to maybe finish out this castle and start on the borders. We'll see. Because I've been spinning the wheel when I'm not sure what to do. And then I've got my sampler that I didn't even pull out this week. I did start sewing my beach houses together. I've got a lot of them in pairs. So hopefully, if I do another couple hours sewing, I can start to put together more than just pairs of them. I did just start grabbing them randomly. I know, crazy me. It's crazy times. It's 2020. It's crazy. So, okay. So here's the deal on the Monopoly needle minder. So I don't know how many of you guys have seen the old pattern booklet of it's a licensed book to stitch your own Monopoly board. My son's favorite game for the longest time is Monopoly. I will tell you, I am not a board game player. His dad is. And I'm glad that they had that together. Like, my son and I used to run together. And the boy child is actually at 11, did his first half marathon with me. We've done several 5 and 10Ks. Bean also has done 5 and 10Ks. Bean's done a 10 miler. She did her 10 miler in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities. Those hills are crazy. For those of you who run out in Minnesota, holy cow, big admiration. Because that was not something that I was used to doing. I live in a flat part of Michigan. So anyway, I found the Monopoly game. And if you go on Etsy, like other people are selling a pattern to make Monopoly board. They are not the licensed one. And they're not licensed. We'll just leave that at that. So I went and I bid on the actual booklet on eBay, and I won it. And it got misdelivered. And the seller was like, "Not my problem." You know, my post office is like, "Look, we've looked for it. You know, we don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Okay, who? You know, you praying to Saint Anthony, and everything." Well, somebody on the Monopoly group, everybody's stitching them and stuff. She's like, "I've had this pattern in my charts to stitch for years since it originally came out. I believe it came out in the 80s. She's like, I'm not going to stitch it." She's like, "Let me send you the book." So she sent me the pattern. In the meantime, I didn't know that she was actually going to send it. So I also bid on a second book on eBay. Well, now they found the first book. The post office found, whoever got it in their mail actually delivered it to my house, set it on my porch and everything. Still in the package and everything. Then I got the wonderful gift from the person in the group. And then I also won the second book off of eBay, and it showed up. So now I had three patterns. So if you would like to stitch Monopoly, please let me know, because I may be able to help you out on a book. But the person who gifted me the book, and she did say, I said, "Look, my showed up," and I go, "I will be happy to return yours." And she's like, "Absolutely not." She's like, "I want you to find the right home for it." And I'm like, "Okay, will do." So if you would like to stitch Monopoly, in the comments, please tell me why you would like to stitch Monopoly. And I will pick somebody, and you will get, I will mail you the booklet to stitch Monopoly, one of my extras. But she also sent me this beautiful needle minder, because she said I needed it in order to stitch Monopoly. And it is just super, super cute. But it's like a little Monopoly board. It just cracks me up. So yeah, so I am planning on starting the Monopoly board. Will be my January 1st start. Um, I noticed that some of you guys stitch specific things on specific days. And so I have decided that my birthday is in October, on October 23rd. I'm not sure what I'm going to pick for my birthday start, but on January 1st, I am going to start Monopoly. And I will probably, from Rita Renee's on Facebook, order 60-inch wide Ada, 14 count, and I'm going to dye it that real pastel-y green. Unless she's got I think she may actually have a pastel green, um, so that it's a little bit more authentic, instead of the white. So I'm going to do that on January 1st. And I know I have a winter sale that I signed up to do. I think it's the one that Joyfield Stitcher Annie is doing. I think she may have mentioned it in one of her floss tubes recently, either her or Pam and Steph. I'm sorry, ladies. I suck at names. I'm sorry. It is the stitch along where it's like Santa and Mrs. Claus, and they go to the house, and then they're riding on a rabbit, and then they're riding on a boar to the next house, kind of thing. Like they're riding on odd animals, and it just cracked me up. So I joined that one, and that's one of those that you have to remember to go to the site to download it each month. So I want to get that started too. Because the other thing is my friend, he bought a ficus, and he has a cousin who always does, like, she has like a little display on her table and stuff, and she's got like a Easter tree. I think she did her St. Patrick's Day tree this last year and stuff like that. And it's been one of those competitions. So I have been challenged that I have to decorate the ficus to be like to top her display for each holiday. So that should be interesting. So we're picking up the ficus tomorrow. And then I have almost a month to do Halloween decorations for it. I don't know. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. It'll be interesting. So if you have any great ideas, let me know. Because I'm certainly open to how do I get roped into these kinds of things? And then I have to do something. So I'm an Alpha Gamma Delta alumni, and we are doing we have a stitching squirrels group on Facebook for all of us that actually it's just any craft, any Alpha AGD alum who is a crafter can join. We're doing a Christmas exchange. We're I think it's a $10 or a $15 sort of limit, and you make your partner something and you mail it. So I want to find something cute. Our mascot is a squirrel, and our colors are red, buff, and green. So I want to find something easy-ish. I want to find a fast stitch, basically, so that I can make my partner. She has asked for something to go in her office, and right now she's a big Disney buff, and I want to say a Harry Potter person, but I can't bring myself to sorry, there's just J.K. Rowling needs to get her shit together and stop being so hateful. And until she can at least learn to keep her mouth shut instead of spewing such hatred, I can't. It's just like Hobby Lobby. Can't. As much as all of you guys have such cute stuff that comes out of Hobby Lobby, I can't do it. I don't eat at Chick-fil-A. There's actually several places I don't eat and I won't shop. So I don't do Harry Potter. I will not give money to somebody who is so filled with hatred, and is in such a position of admiration by young people. I just, yeah. So I guess I don't mind Disney. Please don't burst my bubble about Disney. If their hatred, they have Pride Day down at the parks. So I probably will stitch. Given that she's an AGD and it's a whole AGD alum, I'm looking for probably a squirrel of some sort of fun squirrel. The other thing that's on my radar that I really want to do, and I'm sorry, Lindy Stitches, I love your bat. I love your bat. OMG. Love that bat. But I want to stitch him so that he's got a couple friends and that they're standing up on their feet instead of hanging upside down. And I want to stitch it with I'm sure you've seen it where they flip them up, the real bat, the video upside down, and they look like they're goths at a nightclub dancing. That's what I want. That's what I want. Every time I see your little bat, that's what I think of, and that's what I want to do. And he's just so dang cute. So thank you for sharing that pattern. It is on my radar, and really and truly, it's one that I want to order. And then I want to stitch that, and I want to put like goth bats at a nightclub underneath it. Yeah, I do that to people. I just think it's hysterical. So, let's see who else. So I'm really enjoying watching Joyful Stitcher Annie. Lady, I doubt you watch me, and that's okay. But you are so. I hope you realize how amazing you are. You just make me smile every time I watch your video. Your little song that you start off with, it just, yeah, you just make me smile. The other one is Erin, Two Martini Stitcher. Girl, we need to go have a drink because you are also amazing. And you just make me smile. And, with all the craziness that goes on, I appreciate those videos. Like, I look forward to them to smile and to just get new ideas and inspiration. Michelle, Bendy Stitchy, honestly, another one. I love your videos. I love listening to you. I love getting to interact with you when you do some of your stitch alongs, um, and bantering back and forth. It just sort of sets my world a little bit more even. Um, you know, the guys from Fortnite Fabric, y'all are wonderful. I can't wait to see your little cactus area, um, or your Princess Sal's, your Sal going on. Noah Stitches, Coffee Stitcher. I hope your move goes well. Like it sounds so weird. Like these videos, um, they give us glimpses into each other's worlds, and you know, we may never meet face to face, but I feel like I need to let you know that I'm there cheering you on. Everybody I watch, there's Black Ribbon Stitcher. Her and I are about the same spot on our pandemics, and it's just so neat to watch. And now she's sharing how her granddaughter is stitching with her, and you know what brought her into the hobby. Like honestly, it was a needle minder. How like if that's what it takes to pass those cherished times where you guys get to stitch together. You know, I remember sitting with my grandmother and sewing, and my grandmother also made dolls. Like I have Raggedy Ann dolls, from my grandmother, and as she got older, I remember having to help her thread the needles so that she could pull the yarn through and do their hair. Those are memories that you'll cherish for the rest of your life. Um, I miss my grandmother. I miss those times. And those are the moments I cherish, you know, the little, like, Bean's not into crafts. Like, that's just not her thing. And that's fine. She's my science. She's my math kid. She's a kid who, if I need something built, although she does really enjoy our pedal car. And so I need to, she likes taking apart, like, she took them apart, and she'll be the person to put them back together because God knows I don't remember. Thank God I took pictures on how he goes back together. But those are the things she enjoys. And honestly, it's been fun to build our little pedal car. We gotta get him done. His paint just needs to be finished. He's so close to being done. And then I'll get to show that to you guys. It'll be hysterical. But those are memories that I hope my kids cherish when they get older. Um, it was neat to see. It's fun to watch the kids. Even at 19, they're almost 20. I don't know how I got to be that old. I mean, I must have had them when I was 3. Um, I don't know. But it's neat to watch when I've gotten to, like, as they've grown up, I made their Halloween costumes and it's Halloween time. And, you know, I can remember my daughter wanting to be a pink flamingo. And oh my God, that fur stuff and all of those like wispies all over my house for months afterwards. But she was the cutest darn flamingo, and she had wings and she had a beak, and she just glowed. She was so excited. Um, and then my son one year wanted to be a vampire garden gnome. I mean, seriously, a vampire garden gnome. You don't store buy a vampire garden gnome. But my son got to be a vampire garden gnome. And he still talks about like all those fun costumes. Um, or when they would say, like my daughter for the longest time, her favorite Arctic bird is a penguin. Her favorite tropical bird, however, is a flamingo. And I got to make her like she's got quilts with both. You know, you can't walk into stores and buy these kinds of things, and I, I'm glad that my children get those memories of having those special gifts. Both my children can sew. They both cook. Somebody one better than the other for some things. But I love those times. I love pulling out like this is my favorite time of year. This whole fall where I'm in Michigan, so the leaves are changing colors and the temps are, you know, leggings or jeans and a hoodie. I love that because it's perfect time to bake and get the oven going and pulling out those cookies or trying new recipes. So um, I'm just I'm enjoying it. And now that they're older, it's every year it's a little different. It's certainly vastly different from when they were 4 and 5. Um, now, now they're 19, almost 20. Um, so yeah, it's just gonna be kind of Christmases are different, but they're still fantastic. Um, but fall is neat. The kids' birthdays are in November. Mine's in October. Um, so it's just fun. Um, and now I'm just kind of rambling to you guys. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done this week. I mean, I guess in looking over, I got large chunks on few projects done, which in some ways makes me feel better. I do really want to pull out my coffee sampler and try and get that done. Um, in some ways, I'd like to have it done for my birthday. I don't know that it's not it's not a hard stitch. It's just it's remembering to pull that one out. I do need to get these test patterns done though. That's a big thing. The other thing is one of Emily, my bestie, one of my besties. Um, Her and I have our ultra coming up on the 17th of October. I don't know how far we're planning to go. We'll go until we say enough. That may be 3 miles, that may be 37 miles, who knows with us. Um, she is a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, huge. So I'd like to sort of work on some sort of surprise Buffy themed stitch. Um, and in talking in one of the groups, there seems to be a huge following and a want to do some sort of stitch along. So I briefly talked with Dana at Stitch Life. Actually, she brought up the idea that maybe we do it with the magazine somehow. But so now I've got to watch Buffy. I can honestly say I've never watched more than bits and pieces of Buffy. So I'm binge watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order to be able to develop a stitch along pattern. So, open to ideas there. The other thing that I really would like to sort of do is some sort of stitch patterns for advocacy, like against doctors. Like seriously, if you are an ER doctor and you don't know that a VP shunt is like they can be programmed, that scares me. At least trust me as a patient. I know my body. All of my doctors will tell you that. I do my research. So I want to sort of come up with some sort of medical snark. Is that I don't know how to caption it. I have a lot of things in my brain that I need to just get down on paper. But I really need a better way of. I'm horribly ADD right now. So really need some organizational tips from you guys on how to manage all of this. Because it doesn't fit with how I'm used to managing like a lot of my sewing things. Um, so yeah, that's my mission this next week. Um, as my coach always says, pick your 3 controllable things when the world seems crazy. Pick 3 controllables and focus on those. So, what's your 3 for the next week? What are you going to control when everything else is crazy? What are you going to focus your energy on? Mine is going to be fueling my body properly with foods that are safe for me, with all of my dietary allergies and concerns. I am going to still commit to my daily bike run streak. With the hospital trip that I took 2 days off. But that's okay. That's what my body needed. And then stitching at least a half an hour. to sort of calm down and mellow out my day. That's my three controllables. Everything else is a bonus. So yeah. So again, hit subscribe if you think you like me. Even if you hate me, subscribe, whatever. Then you know what I'm doing. So you cannot do it with me, kind of thing, if that's what you choose to do. But hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. That's always fun. Let me know if you want to stitch Monopoly and why, so that we can get you going. And maybe that could be we can stitch it together in January, starting in January. And any decoration ideas for this ficus. Yeah. And, anything else you want to tell me. I'm always here to listen. That's what I tell my friends. I may not have solutions, but I'll listen. So with that, have a great weekend. Have a great next week. And we'll see you next week, hopefully with way more progress on all of my projects. Have fun.